Hey guys, our focus today for our character conversation is on that word, focus. I wear glasses, obviously, and I've worn them since high school. There was a time when I did not want to wear glasses. I didn't even know I needed glasses, to tell you the truth. I didn't want to wear them. I didn't like how they looked. I played basketball, and all I could think about was those big goggles they used to have that guys had to wear who wore glasses when they played. I didn't want those. I didn't think they'd look good. So what I did is I just tried to get by. And it was even more challenging when I was trying to get a driver's license. So I ended up discovering I have this condition called myopia. That sounds really intense, but it actually is a technical term for nearsightedness. And that word always confused me because I thought that nearsightedness should be that you can't see things that are close by or near, but it's just the opposite. It means that you can only see things that are near or close by, but you have a difficulty seeing things far away. And so that became an issue for me as a 16, 17-year-old. Anyway, I figured out I needed to get the glasses. I needed to just go forward and do that. And here's how I figured it out. I figured it out that even though things looked blurry, I had begun to squint my eyes all the time. I mean, I was walking around, I was like this all the time. In school, I would sit closer to the board or to the screen so I could see what was on the screen and the board, get my grades, do all that. And I just made do. But here's what happened. I got my high school yearbook one year. I think it was right before my junior year or right after it. And flipping through the pages, you always do, hey, where am I in the yearbook besides my regular photograph? And there's the basketball pages. So I went to the basketball pages, looked at the varsity pages, flipping through there, and all of a sudden, there is a photograph, action shots of our team playing this, that, and the other. But there's one picture of our coach and our team surrounding our coach. He's at the bench. He's got his clipboard out. He's writing down the next play, and the team is sitting around and standing behind him. And I'm standing behind him. And in that photograph that's in our yearbook, I'm standing there. I don't have glasses on at the time, didn't wear them. And I'm looking up at the scoreboard, but I'm doing this. And so my photograph, it's incredible. But I'm doing this in that photograph because I could not see the scoreboard, nor could I see how much time was left in the game. Now, in basketball, as in any sport, it is beneficial if you can see. It's a real problem. And so I decided, hey, now's the time to do this. So my parents made me an appointment. I had to go get my eyes checked. The eye doctor puts that thing in my eye drops, all this. And do you see better with 1 or 2, 3 or 4? Can you read this? Can you read that? And yep, lo and behold, I have myopia. And so I had a prescription given to me. Glasses were purchased. I hated them, but I had them. And fortunately, I got contact lenses as well, so I didn't have to wear the goggles when I played. But when I got the glasses, here's what I noticed. Suddenly, as soon as I put them on, things looked much differently to me. I was amazed and frustrated at the same time. I was amazed at how clear things were, and I was frustrated in the fact that I had gone so long without looking through glasses, not using them for my own pride, whatever you want to call it. And I was looking at that going, man, colors are brighter than I thought they were. Things are clearer than I thought they were. Movies and television shows, I can watch them and I can see what's happening. I actually had convinced myself that everybody saw things blurry because I did. I filtered everybody's life through my own perspective. And that's not the reality. It was an amazing reality for me. I wish I could say it made me a much better basketball player, but I will say this: my free throw percentage went up because I could see the basket, and I knew how much time was left. So anyway, I needed the lenses, and what I needed was the ability to focus. I needed to see things well. I was seeing everything out of focus. I was seeing everything blurry. But once I focused, things made sense. I found clarity. It was amazing or obvious for others. Seeing clearly is great, but many of you on the football team that I talk to weekly, I mean, you have good eyesight. But maybe it's just possible that some of you are still struggling with focus. Let me ask you guys, and this is specific for Fleming Island football. Do you remember how you guys felt about 9 weeks ago? We're 10 weeks into this study of character, or 10 weeks into the season. About 9 weeks ago, as I'm hanging out with you guys, coming up to the games, doing your pregame talk, just sitting there in your pregame meal, and hearing you talk to each other, standing on the sidelines, hearing a lot of just, picking on each other, laughing together, challenging one another. I heard some things being said. Well, I was listening in a bit, not creepy in a way, but just hearing you talk. And there was something you were saying that early on seemed possible, but I would say based on others' opinions, not likely. And it was this thing called district championship. Now, I'm all about positive thinking. Hear me out. But you guys had a challenging season last year. Didn't win as many as you should have, we think. But here's the deal. Every team at the beginning of the season, before the first game, before the first whistle, is 0-0, and everybody's talking about championships. Everybody is. What happened here is, for this team, you began to talk about it. And even though the possibility was very real, it was going to be very tough for you to win a district championship with everything that you guys were facing. Here's the deal. You don't win district championships when you're 0-0 before the whistle's ever blown. Here's how the season started for you. You won some games. You lost some games. Every game mattered, but not every game mattered for districts. You know how this works. Every week, as we watched you win or lose, whatever the score was, it was very obvious you were moving forward. Now, you're not there yet, so don't hear what I'm not saying. But I will say that a few weeks back, it seemed, and this is just my perspective. Your coaches may tell you something differently. Your parents may tell you something differently. But from my perspective, just standing there with you, it felt like something switched, like something switched on. Suddenly, that goal that was clear, that was necessary and needful, that goal to district championship which prior had been maybe a little bit out of focus, maybe just a little bit, began to become clearer, closer, possible, definitely doable. I mean, not done yet, but doable. Now, I'm just saying 9 weeks ago, you were looking through blurry lenses, maybe if you had them on at all. But you guys began to work together as a team. You got in each other's faces. I mean, you weren't always nice to each other, and you don't have to be nice to each other. This isn't a kumbaya moment. You learned, though, to like each other more overall, it seemed. Maybe even to love one another as brothers and teammates in ways that you hadn't yet, even though, I mean, I don't know stories. I'm just telling you, just my observation. You became brothers in a sense and teammates. You began to hold each other accountable more clearly. You learned how to celebrate well and right when you won and when you did things right. You also learned how to bounce back from difficulty and losses when you faced them. It was almost as if you were trading in old lenses for new ones. It was almost as if you began to realize what it meant to focus, and you began to find clarity. There's a game this week, game tonight. As I'm recording this, it's on Friday, and you're exactly where you said you wanted to be many weeks ago. But let me just speak some truth to you. Not everybody in this community or this city or this region, maybe not everybody even in your own school, really believed you had what it took. If you say, hey, do these guys have what it takes? Maybe. Now, I'm not talking about people on the team. I'm talking about other people. Week in and week out, you began to believe. Your coaches coached you well. They had continued to. You believed, but even now you believe, but you haven't arrived. You've not arrived. And that's actually a good place to be, to have positive thoughts, believing in victory, having that goal, but also recognizing reality that you've not arrived yet. The goal is closer than it's been. It's become clearer and clearer to you. Now, here's the thing about the goal. No one's handing it to you. There's a game to be played. I don't know. I know what we hope for. I know what you've worked for. But hear this. I want you to hear this clearly. Regardless, you do have what it takes. You just can't lose focus. In my life, I've had to learn that to be what I've been created to be is not based on any made-up ideas I've created in my own mind of what a man is, but in leaning on the one who created me for more and listening to him. He's the one who's called my source and perfecter, that of my faith. He did the heavy lifting required for me to be the man that he has created me to be. I just have to be man enough to surrender to him and accept that reality. Real men, as we've defined it, reject the letter R, R-E-A-L, reject passivity, expect the greater reward, accept responsibility, and lead courageously. That's the kind of man we are hoping and desiring for you to be. But real men also live with focus. Eyes forward, with a goal in mind, and eyes up for a story bigger than self. Hey, that's how to be a real man. That's how to be a champion for life. And you guys have what it takes.